This is the On Tour with Chris Lee podcast, episode 14. I have a very special episode for you guys today. Our very own Paul de la Cerda joins us. Here we go.
Here comes Mr. Lee. 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 Here comes Mr. Lee.
Hey, welcome back.
Hi,
Alison is back with us yet again.
I'm back.
This is 3 weeks in a row. Thank you for joining us wherever you are, wherever you're listening on, whether it be SoundCloud or Apple iTunes, or if you're watching us on YouTube. Hello there. It's nice to see you. Christmas is over.
You can't see them. You said it's nice to see you. You can't see them.
I see everyone now.
That's creepy.
I can see everybody.
That's weird.
So
Yes,
Christmas is over. We survived.
we did.
We're majorly in debt now.
No, we're not.
We're losing the house. We're going to lose the farm.
No, we're not. Everybody's. And you know what? I didn't have that depressing feeling after Christmas. I didn't. It was nice.
Really?
No, I didn't.
Are we going to prolong Christmas? Is that maybe
We
why?
are. You know, I read an article last night when I couldn't sleep that said that Dolly Parton decorates the day after Thanksgiving and celebrates and keeps all of her decorations up until her birthday, which is January 19th. I think we should do Dolly style this year.
Keep the Christmas decorations up
Until her birthday, January 19th.
until Dolly's birthday. What kind of decorations do you put up for Dolly Parton's birthday?
Just inflatable balloons.
Very
Shiny,
good.
fantastic inflatable balloons.
Yeah, that
Because
sounds
she's
great.
fantastic. But yeah. But I do want to say to all those living in Nashville and all those affected, we are thinking of you guys and we are praying for y'all. Yeah.
Nashville has had a tough year, I will say
Jeez.
that, along with the rest of the country, but especially Nashville, from tornadoes to this bomb.
Yeah,
They had something else that happened that was drastic this year. What was it?
Was it flooding?
Flooding was back when
we lived there. They just had a horrible year. But
Yeah, bad year
anyway,
for Nashville. An
very
incredible
brave.
city.
Yes, so they are Nashville strong for
Yeah.
sure. But thinking of y'all. But yeah, so now we got New Year's coming up.
Yeah.
And we may get snow. You read the percentage though. You said it was 20% to 0% chance of snow.
Yeah,
That's so depressing.
no accumulation whatsoever. Which, if it freaking stuck, if we had snow on the ground in Austin, that would be unbelievable. Be
People
unheard of.
would freak the hell out.
All the global warming people would just lose their shit.
Yes, it'd be interesting. So, I think we just stay comfy, cozy, and watch or prepare. Maybe we rewatch Cobra Kai and prepare for season 3 the following day.
Mm-hmm.
And if you aren't watching Cobra Kai, you better get on that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Are you ready for these kids to go back to school? Are you sick of them?
No, I like them.
I like them too, but this is a tough time of year for having the kids around the house because all year, anytime we want to get away,
You bring this up all the time,
it's important to me.
and you are taken care of.
I don't feel very taken care of right now. But
Aw,
anytime we want to sneak
boo.
away for a little alone time, we always tell the kids, we're going to go talk about Christmas.
So this time we should say,
And now you can't,
you can
what are we
say,
going to go tell them we're going to talk about Christmas right now? A year away?
we can say, we're planning our trip to Great Wolf Lodge. Boom.
That sets a faulty expectation. And they're going to be wondering when we're going to go to Great Wolf Lodge.
I don't know.
It just
Chris.
doesn't work.
I just don't know what to tell you.
I'm very excited about this show.
That was a weird conversation.
Not just because we're going to have someone else besides Alison on here, but because it's Paul de la Cerda. For those of you that have never met him or have not, that you don't follow along the whole touring train with the Granger Smith team, Paul is our longtime videographer, photographer, video director. He does everything, and he's my busmate, or he's been my busmate for years. We've traveled on our little bus where it's just bull driving, Granger, myself, and Paul. That was the team
For years.
for years. And yeah, I miss touring, but I miss having my my bus mate, seeing him every day. Oftentimes, for many years, I've seen him more than I've seen you.
I know. He's just the nicest man in the entire world. So, and you and Paul have the exact same humor and TV.
Yeah,
So,
he's great.
yes.
Well, let's get into it. With no further ado, Mr. Paul de la Cerda. All right, welcome back to episode 14 of the On Tour with Chris Lee podcast. This is a very special episode.
This is so special.
Nothing personal to you, Al. You do a good job
He always says
co-hosting.
good. Like, it's never great, but
You know,
this is
week number 3 that I've kept her around, and she's doing a pretty good job. But now it's time to bring the big guns in.
right.
This is a very special episode for us. One of my good friends and fellow busmates for years, Mr. Paul de la Cerda, joins us today. How you doing, Paulie?
Woohoo!
Yo, what it do? I'm doing just fine here at my office here in San Antonio.
Yeah, I was just, before we jumped on here, I was looking. You're such a perfectionist when it comes to video and lighting and everything. And I'm looking at this room here, and the folks on YouTube will be able to see this. But you've got the nice backlighting back there. What looks like a Lombardi trophy
Yeah, he won.
that you won somewhere, I guess.
Congratulations.
Fantasy football 2019.
That's
not to brag.
Really? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Wow. Y'all go all out.
I've never won a fantasy football league, so I don't know what those trophies look like. Then you've got a drone back there. You've got a couple cameras, and then you've got a lot of videotapes. That looks like Paul's world.
It's a happy world.
Yeah, it's actually a bunch of books here. And then that's my very first drone that I've ever bought.
Okay.
So I didn't sell that. I decided to keep it. And then that's my very first camera that I actually used with you guys back in 2013.
Okay.
Yeah. So those have a lot of good memories that brought me to where I am today. So decided
Yeah.
to keep them, display them.
And what is Mission Park? Sorry, that picture
Oh,
of
yeah.
that chick. Who's that?
So there's a poster here. It's
Rachel.
called. It's a movie that I worked on, the very first project that I worked on in my career called Mission Park, and it was a movie that was shot here in San Antonio. Long story short, I was introduced with an opportunity to be a part of the production, and the director actually hired me to be his assistant, and that was my very first time on set, no experience whatsoever. And that pretty much changed the course of my entire career. I met so many people in that industry, in the film industry here in San Antonio. And at the time I was like, man, I have to move to LA or New York to be a part of, film world. And
Right.
no, I actually met an arsenal of people that live in San Antonio, Austin, Texas. And I was like, what? That's a thing in Texas? Had no idea. And so that's pretty much what changed my life forever was that movie. So that's why I have it up here in display to remind me where I came from.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
I never would have guessed until meeting you that Austin or San Antonio would be such a hub for video creators and the movie scene.
Yeah, Austin for sure is up there. Dallas and Houston, San Antonio in the 90s was the golden years. You had Selena that was made, a lot of Tejano music videos, which at the time, these are over $100,000 budget music videos.
Yeah.
What's that other one with Sandra Bullock?
Oh,
Hope Floats.
no, the
Miss Con.
Miss Congeniality.
Yes.
Thanks.
That was shot here too. Ace
Seen
Ventura
it.
was shot here. Love it. Top 5. But yeah, Ace Ventura was shot here, and then
Really?
things just started to
Ventura
change.
was?
Yeah. There's a warehouse here that they shot a lot of scenes here.
The first one?
I think it was the first. I think the first and the second. There were scenes that were shot here, like the
Okay.
warehouse scene where like the dolphins. I think.
Yeah.
The village in part 2. They
Yeah.
built the village outside of San Antonio and this
know
ranch
that.
out here that they
Oh,
still
yeah.
use it for commercials and stuff. But yeah, man, it was a prime time in the 90s, and then it kind of declined over time. And then now it's just trying to pick up again.
Yeah.
But with COVID and all, everything just kind of chilled out. It's more so commercials here now. But it's a really, really tight group.
Yeah.
So cool.
So you started with us 2013, which wasn't long after I started. I started June 3rd. And I remember this is so funny and pitiful. But when Paul started with us, we were in the one bus and we didn't have a bunk for him. So he
Aw,
would
Polly.
sleep in the back lounge. So he was at the mercy, his sleeping every night was at the mercy of whatever guitar player or whoever was up being loud or getting drunk or whatever. So he had to kind of sleep around that. Plus, I think a lot of us kept some of our luggage back there and you had to maneuver that stuff around.
Yeah, and then also we were up north. Was it roughly December, I think, right?
Yeah.
And it was really cold, and I didn't know that there was heaters in the back, so I was freezing in the
Oh,
back
gosh.
until Todd told me, "Dude, there's heaters," and I was like, "Oh, we have a day left. It doesn't matter anymore."
Oh no.
Man alive.
Wait, so how did
good times.
Granger find you? Because I always feel like Granger's been a little bit ahead of a curve or a trend. He kind of he thinks that, way ahead of things before it actually happened. So when he found you, I thought, this is so cool. And you have documented everything and have captured every moment. And how did he find you?
So I actually found him. So this goes back to 2011, 12-ish.
Hey, y'all gotta shut up down there. Be quiet.
That's so professional.
Sorry, please continue.
So this was after like 3-4 years in the commercial industry working on sets and stuff. At that time, Texas country to me was like very huge. Mm-hmm. Like you had like Josh Abbott, Kyle Park, all these guys that were selling out these venues. And at that time I was like a really huge fan. I love to go dancing, love to go out with friends and all that. And I was thinking, I was like, man, who's making these music videos for these guys? Like they have to have some kind of budget. And I've always been a huge fan of music videos. And so one day I decided to just start reaching out to all these artists. And they have the Texas music charts, which is like the Billboard music charts of Texas country. And so I basically emailed the top 40 in that list. And in that top 40 was Granger. And after emailing people for months and trying to say, hey, I have this experience. This is a music video that I did. Would love to see if you guys are interested. I say 80% of the time I got no response. Mm-hmm. And if I did get a response, it was very vague. Like, okay, cool, thanks. Or we don't need anyone. And I would research like who needs a music video. Mm-hmm. And I saw Granger on there. And I looked him up and I was like, oh, wow, like his music videos are really good. There's no way he's going to need, someone else. But I still emailed him and Tyler responded. But his response was, to me, it felt like he paid attention. Like it wasn't just a simple like, okay, thanks. It was like a nice paragraph. And I was like, okay, cool. Like I got his interest somehow. So I'm just going to keep, every time I do a new video, I'll send him a new one. And so that happened for a couple months. And then one day Tyler emailed me and it said, hey, we sold out in the Northwest for the first time ever. We're going to go on tour out there and we're looking for a videographer to capture all this. Do you know anybody? And at that time, work was low. Like I didn't have any productions or anything. And, I had some school loans that I had to pay and I was like, God, I need this job. And I was like, hey, I'm in, let's do it. And that was the first tour that I went with you guys.
They asked you if you knew anybody.
Oh yeah, that's Tyler.
And he's done that with everyone. Everyone that is in that camp, he's always asked them, "Hey, we're looking for a bass player, Johnny. Do you know anybody?" I'm like, well,
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, I think they wanted us to fight for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
But yeah, man.
Without
the rest is
asking you
history.
directly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that first run too. That was really magical because it was like I had such a low expectation at the time. During that year, I was like, "Oh, Texas country artist Granger, we're gonna go play some clubs in the Northwest, and hopefully a few people will show up, but nobody's really heard of him up there." And they're like, "Oh my gosh, every show sold out." It was such an exciting time, and I know you went to UT, and I'm representing today. We have the bowl game tonight.
Yes,
the
sir.
Alamo Bowl. But At what point did you, because you were majoring in accounting, right?
I was actually majoring in computer science.
Computer
And
science.
I really enjoyed it. I really did.
Yeah.
I was doing videos on the side with friends in my dorm, and it was just for fun.
Okay.
I was using Windows Movie Maker, if anybody know out there. It's a really
yeah.
old editing software. And it was just for fun, man. I was just having a good time. And a lot of my friends were like, man, you're really good at this. Like, you should try to do this for a living. And at the time, this is 2007.
Yeah.
Technology was so different then. YouTube was a new thing. Instagram was barely new, I guess. And I was like, no, I need to move to LA and New York City for that, and I don't want to do that. I don't care for that, because I didn't grow up like, oh, I love movies. It's my passion. I didn't really watch much growing up,
Right.
A lot of classic films that people were like, oh my God, you never seen that movie? Like Jurassic Park or something like that. That's an extreme example. I've seen that. But
Okay, I was about
Like-
to say, whoa. Just kidding.
well, what's the one with Tom Hanks where he's on the bench? Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never fully seen the movie. I've only seen bits of
His
it.
favorite movie, Paul. You guys
But yeah.
are like movie buddies, yes. Y'all will
But yeah,
watch.
my dad, like I would always say, look, my dad didn't say, Mijo, you have to watch Forrest Gump. He's this hardcore Mexican dude. He's like, get the damn lawnmower and start cutting the grass, So I didn't grow up watching stuff, but I was like, yeah, I'll try. Computer science was fun, but I just didn't have a passion for it.
Yeah.
Like I had a blast coding and making this robot move, but I was like, I don't care, whatever. And so I ended up transferring to the RTF program, radio, television, film at UT, and I was told that it was a very difficult program to get into. So I was able to get permission from the dean himself, which was awesome because I was showing him the stuff that I was doing for fun. And then I got into it. And so I started to learn so much, a whole different perspective on just filming itself and being on set and stuff like that. And it just opened up a whole world of opportunities and possibilities, right? And I fell in love with it instantly. It was just like a passion I didn't know I had until I was presented with it.
That's so interesting.
What was that conversation like when you went to your folks and they knew you were going to a great school, probably the greatest school in the nation, and you're studying computer science? Computers, I can't even. Obviously, I didn't get accepted. I can't even get a sentence out.
You're choking up for me.
Yeah, but you're
Okay.
majoring in computer science, and you're looking at going that direction as a career, and you say, "Hey, mom and dad, I actually want to do videos for a living." Was that I want to move to LA, or I want to spend some time in New York? Was that a difficult conversation, or were they just, "Hey, follow your dream"?
It was because they don't understand it.
Right.
Even today, they still have a little bit of difficulty understanding what I do fully. Even computer science, they just knew, oh, computer is cool. I think they were just proud because I moved to a different city and I was going to a big school, big college. And my older brother went to college, but he stayed in San Antonio.
Yeah.
And then my sister, she went to college, but she didn't get to finish. So this was like a new adventure for them. I was the last kid.
Yeah.
So they were just excited for me to go there. Ultimately, in the end, they're very supportive. They're like, you know what you're doing. We believe in you. We have your support. We don't understand what that is, but, do what you got to do. Because at that time, like, who wants to be a videographer wasn't even a thing, It was just,
Exactly.
you're on set and you do a certain job, and that was it. And no one knows that in San Antonio at the time, wasn't a big deal, I guess.
You were the first one I met, the traveling videographer. I had no idea that was a thing, and I'm like, who is this guy riding the bus with us now? And before you know it, we're moving to a second bus, and you and I are bus mates. And I know this is going to sound silly and maybe a little bit gay, but I remember I would lay in my bunk, and
awesome.
Paul's bunk was directly across from mine, and no matter where we were, or how concerned I was about the weather or outside or anything like that, I could always peel my curtain open and see Paul sleeping over there, and I always felt just a little bit better about things. Like, oh, there's Paul. There's my buddy.
I was always like,
there's a
he's our
familiar
Joey
face.
Tribbiani.
I felt the same way too, Chris. I actually felt safe. I was like, oh, I'm not alone in here.
You're
Y'all
probably
have the same
wanting me to
humor.
stop snoring as well, though, too.
You do.
Oh man, there's so many noises on the road. Like that's like a lullaby to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a serious one.
I've thought so much, I always think about the dynamic of being on the road and traveling with 11 other people and how that could be straining at times. And I think, there's different personalities and you're hoping everybody meshes well and everything. And as long as I've known you, which is 7 years now, I've never known you to have an ill word towards anyone. And don't take offense to this, Allison, but you're genuinely, I feel like you're the most liked person I've ever known in my life. And I really mean that. And I don't know what it is. If maybe you're high all the time or something that I don't know about. I never see you smoke, but I have never met a person, especially in our band and crew, that has ever had an issue with Paul. Yeah. So you're like, if you could take the perfect personality to put on the road, that would be it. Because you get into circumstances where you're 11 days deep into a tour and you're around the same people all the time. And as you know, you've seen it, tensions run high. People get into arguments. They get on each other's nerves. And then you have somebody like Paulie here. Mm-hmm. And it's like, he's just the nice little buffer between everybody. And he never gets into any confrontations.
No, but what I've always noticed about any conversation I've ever had with you on the road or when you're coming off the road or whether y'all are at a date in town or whatever, is every conversation always comes back to you're just grateful in that moment in time. And I often pray to stay in the moment and be filled with gratitude, but life gets in the way. But it doesn't seem to get in your way. You're always grateful for the job that you have, being able to do what you do, to capture what you're doing. It's just, you're always thankful. And I think that's why you're so liked, is because you make people feel good for where they are.
I think work ethic, well said. And I think work ethic is a big part of that too.
Yeah.
Because I remember, now I would get up before you in the morning, but I'd get up before a lot of people. I'm just an early riser. Mm-hmm. But I remember you would be up into all hours of the night editing these videos. I got to get this done for the YouTube.
He doesn't talk like that. He always makes that voice when he says, when he describes you, like
that's
you're
kind of
Speedy Gonzalez. I'm like, no, he doesn't talk.
That's kind of an inside joke in our camp, but we always give someone a voice. Like everybody has a voice. Yes. And that's Paul's. We gave him
Speedy Gonzalez.
A Speedy Gonzalez, which is not accurate.
You're not.
I've been working on these videos all night.
I'm so tired. That's what it sounds like.
But anyway, I think it was always a fun dynamic having you out on the road and everything. And I mean, Johnny's okay to have as a busmate, I guess. He's all right.
Sweet Johnny.
Fucking Chris. That's Johnny's voice.
Hey, buddy. Yeah. That's Johnny.
Hey, buddy. You want to play some video games?
Well, thank you guys. I think I like to thank my parents for that, for sure, especially the whole work ethic and just being thankful for where I am and knowing their story and what they've been through in order to be here, to give me the opportunity to do what I do, to have that freedom. Just knowing that is a way to push me to better myself, for my future, for my kids' future. Yeah. I say I give them 100% of that, the whole work ethic. I mean, growing up, I was doing a lot of work stuff on the side, helping them, just to put food on the table. And I think that gave me an interesting perspective on life, because I just thought it was just a part of who I am. Or, you don't know anything other than what, your parents present in front of you. But right. I think I'd like to thank them for that, for sure. The gratefulness, the work ethic, all that, definitely from them.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So I know this is, and I know you have a passion for touring video and everything, but I've thought for a long time this guy's bigger than this. He's more talented than just being a videographer. Not that that's a small task or anything like that, but what has this kind of transpired? what else has transpired for you? I know you're running your own company now, and you guys are doing like all kinds of stuff. I know you've done music videos. Um, you're doing tour videography as well, but you're also doing commercials and you're even weddings.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Before tour videography, like you said earlier, it wasn't really a thing. You know, it was a brand new job description. Before that, my passion was just being on set. Like that's just a whole different feeling of just being with a group of people creating this one image. Like so much thought and work and hours just for this image. You know, it
Right.
I just appreciated that feeling. And so tour videography at the time, like I'm gonna be 100% honest, I didn't have a job. Like the jobs in San Antonio were very low at that time, and I was in desperation for something. And I was like, okay, well, this is cool. Let's try it. You know, I need the money. It's a different experience. Granger has great music. He had good music videos. Let's try it. And so I think with anybody, the opportunity was there. It presented itself. And I was like, okay, well, how do I grow from this? And so, you know, Granger started calling me more and more. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, let me tackle this. This is brand new. You know, I've always been interested in music videos. Maybe one day he'll give me an opportunity to do it. And that's pretty much how my passion to like directing started. I never wanted to be a director. The stress behind that is extreme. And it's like at that time I was like, man, I love to edit. Like I edited a couple movies. I helped out the director who did this one. I helped edit his other movie, which is a whole different ball game from videography because everything is detailed. Like you have your script and you're like, okay, this scene has to happen at this moment. Like it's all presented. Videography is like, here's the content, make something. It's a whole different way of thinking creatively. Like creativity, I don't know if that's a word. A whole different way of
now.
thinking
It
on
is today.
creating. On creating a video, you know. So and I'm actually thankful for learning that way because now if I'm on a set and something happens, I'm able to think right away, okay, let's try to do it this way. You know, because videography is like you're on the go. You're on the go. You have to make a decision right away and hoping that you get the content that you need for the video, right? So I learned a lot through tour videography. I love it for sure. But now since a lot of things have changed, I really miss being on set, and that's the direction that I'm heading towards now, is helping my production company to get these big clients to where we're doing commercials or any kind of other videos, real estate, whatever comes our way. With the weddings, we want to do destination weddings, and owning those, like no offense to the other guys, but not the small weddings, but you know, we only get 1 or 2 or 3 a year. And it's like, we're going to Barbados or we're going to some island or something, you know, big product. So that's the goal with all that, with the company. And especially the commercials where we hopefully get, you know, a massive client and we're doing content for them, just like how I'm doing with Granger.
Sure.
It's just another backup plan too, you know,
Right.
especially with everything that's happening.
How many people do you employ on these bigger projects, like a commercial or a big wedding?
So I would say this one big project we worked on this year, no, not this year. Was it this year? Earlier this year, before the whole COVID thing, it was around 20.
20.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know
And
it's
that was, like,
always
producers. Mm-hmm.
anytime you're doing a music video for Granger, I'm like, where do all these people come from? There's a ton of people that come, and it seems like a very comfortable and natural situation for you. It's different than what I'm used to seeing on the road. Because on the road, it's Paul, and he's wearing all black, and he's running around chasing Granger with a camera and everything. And on these video sets, it's like Paul's got his shirt tucked in. He's barking orders to everybody. He's directing. Yeah, but you seem very natural in that habitat.
Yeah, I think it was a learned learned behavior or experience, you know? Like I said earlier, I did not want to direct at all. I was like, hell no, I don't have that kind of creativity in my head at all. You know, like, and it just kind of like like it was presented to me and I was like, let's try it. Sure. And I fell in love with it, you know? I don't think I want to just be a director for the rest of my life, but if a project comes up to where I'm interested in, I'll definitely direct. But yeah, it you know, it takes a village for sure to run, you know, a project like that. You were there for the live performance for that Kane Brown show, remember?
Yeah, that was awesome.
We had like a lot of people. It's a lot of people there that was working on that set. And that was cool because I was able just to direct and I don't have to just do 10, 20 different things at once, you know?
Yeah.
With a lot of times with Granger's music videos, it's usually just a handful of us working on it because it's a run and gun type shoot. In other words, like we have an idea, we have a scene. All right, you're going to walk here and I'm just going to film and try to get that moment, you know?
Yeah.
It's a run and gun as opposed to like an actual commercial set where it's like every shot was thought of beforehand.
Yeah. It's amazing how quickly you're talking about that live performance. For those of y'all that don't know, basically Kane Brown did this concert that was broadcasted in drive-in movie theaters across the country. He asked his friend Granger to be on it. So Granger played as the opening act. So basically people would drive in their cars, they'd watch a concert, Granger was the opening act, and then Kane followed. So Paul and his team shot this performance at the Yee farm. And what amazed me is the time. Like we had about a week notice, and you had your team and all this gear at the farm ready to go, shot it, everything was done, audio was mixed and everything like a week later. It was just such a quick turnaround time. And I think about that when I hear Mission Impossible is taking like 3 or 4 years to make. And Tom Cruise is flipping out on set and everything. I'd love to see one of those moments from you flipping out on set because you're not,
Please
not
flip
wearing
out.
a mask. That'd be so awesome.
And document it.
But
I can't blame Tom Cruise for doing that, man. Millions and millions of dollars are at stake along with people's lives, according to him. So
yeah, for sure.
families and stuff, you know, food on the table and all that, job security. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's a little awkward, but at the same time, Tom Cruise.
And that's his franchise. I mean, like his name. That's his name, man.
Well, besides continuing to develop your company and get bigger and more notoriety, what's the dream goal for you? Business.
Man, it's
I know you want to have
Yeah.
kids and all that good stuff.
No,
like us
Oscar
too,
winning.
But is it
Documentary.
Is it directing movies? Is it doing a big documentary or?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a tough question now. I've always been like just present at the moment, you know, and I do have those goals where it's like, I wish to work on a major documentary or work on a major film or TV series or something that gets, you know, bought by Netflix or something like that.
Yeah.
Definitely that's a goal. I don't know if that's the end goal.
Yeah.
It's the same with us, you know, it's like, cool, we got a number one. What's the next thing? You know, I think it's just like whatever opportunities present itself, tackle it, do the best you can. What's next? You know?
Right.
But definitely as far as like what I want to do is for sure work on a TV show or something like that of that nature, to where my company's producing it, you know, where you, I'm not working for someone else, you know, but I say that's definitely one of the goals for sure.
Well, sky's the limit for you, man.
Yeah.
I've said this before. I'm a big fan of yours, and anytime I need advice on lighting, I know you're just picking apart this room right now. Like, oh, what kind of camera is he using? What's the lighting like in there? But I truly believe God has some great things in store for you and Rachel and BB. Can't leave the dog out.
No way.
That's my dog.
That's right.
Like dog or dog.
Yeah. Those of you that want to reach Paul,
You give me his cell phone number?
Yep, his cell phone number is Instagram. It's at Frames by Paul. His company Instagram is at Encima Media, and that is spelled Encima Media. Check him out. I know we have some artists, up and coming artists that listen to this. Man, any type of content you can put out there these days, the better. I mean, this is a video world, and socials are everything. And the quality of video, as Paul can attest, means everything. And I watched a huge transformation of Granger's career around that 2013 mark. Now, a lot of that was me, but also the work that Paul was doing on video was a tremendous part of jump starting that career. And
It did.
yeah, I can't overemphasize that enough. It's huge.
It helps when you have a great environment and great music.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. The music does have something to do with it these days.
Paul, before you go, I think Rain would want me to tell you that you need some blue light glasses that, just like Santa brought her for Christmas, to protect your eyes and your brain from melting, okay? Because of all the,
If anybody needs those glasses, have you heard of these glasses? They protect your eyes from looking at
The screen.
computer
That's
screen
what
all
she
day.
asked Santa Claus for, was blue light glasses.
Yeah. I did some research on that, and I found out that for editors, especially people who color, it can show you a different color that it's not the true color, basically. And so I decided not to. I know it has benefits, but it's like, man.
Well, she does kindergarten virtually, so she has to look at technology, and so she didn't want that to screw up her brain and melt her brain. So she was desperate for Santa to bring her. So
She looks at me and she's like, I don't want to be like him.
and she's like, he's goner already. But I think she would want me to let you know that you need some blue light glasses. I'm just
I
kidding.
got glasses because of editing.
See?
There you
If
go.
you had the
Blame
blue
editing.
light glasses. Just
There
kidding.
you go.
Well, thank you for talking with us. So good
Yeah,
to see your
thank
happy
you.
face.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
absolute
good
pleasure.
to see you
and
guys.
I hope we get to. I know I got to work with you a couple weeks ago at the truck giveaway, and that was
was
always
fun.
good.
It's
But
always good to see you,
I hope we get to
buddy.
do some concerts here again sometime soon.
Yeah, man. It's good to see you guys. I hope you guys are doing well during these interesting times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're doing
likewise.
good. Tell the family hi for us.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay.
All
We
right.
love you. You be good, okay? Happy New Year.
Love y'all.
We'll
Love you,
talk to
Polly.
soon. Thanks for talking.
All right. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Well, that's going to do it for episode 14 of the On Tour with Chris Lee podcast. A special thank you to Mr. Paul de la Cerda for being a part of this show. Thank you guys for watching and for listening. If you don't subscribe to the channel, to the Chris Gaines Comedy YouTube channel, please do so. I would greatly appreciate the support. And subscribe to the podcast. You can find it on iTunes or Spotify or anywhere else where they have podcasts. So thank you guys very much for your support. I really appreciate it. I'm excited about what's in store for us for 2021. Hopefully that involves concerts, because I miss seeing you guys. And man, we got to get back out there. So thank you guys very much for tuning in again. God bless you. We'll see you next time. Y'all take care.
Here comes Mr. Lee. 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 Here